So number 3 on the agenda is to reopening the hearing of Rosemary Boyle as a challenged voter per her appeal. So first, I'll swear you in. Can you please hold up your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Mr. Richter, you may proceed.
Thank you. According to the Exhibit A voter list, Ms. Boyle registered to vote on August 4th, 2023.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, through you. So before we proceed, we need to address a preliminary matter as we did with the previous hearing.
Correct. Thank you for that reminder. So we need to ask that you show good cause for the reason you weren't able to appear at the hearing last week.
I had a plasma injection that day in my knee. I was unable to attend here.
Okay. Does the board have any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay. I'll make a motion to reopen the hearing. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Richter. Please continue.
Sure, no problem. So according to Exhibit A, the Truro voter list, Ms. Boyle registered to vote on August 4th, 2023. According to Exhibit C, Ms. Boyle does not pay vehicle excise tax in Truro. According to Exhibit D, Ms. Boyle does pay personal property tax in Truro. Additionally, there's a couple of exhibits attached. Exhibit 5B is a printout from the Boston Assessor's Office for parcel 219 to 223 Columbus Ave, number 204. Ms. Boyle is listed as the current owner, and there is a residential exemption granted for the parcel at this time, according to these records. Exhibit 5C is a declaration of homestead, in which that same address is declared to be the principal residence for Ms. Boyle. And those are the preliminary pieces of information. I'd like to reserve the right to ask some questions at the appropriate time.
Did you bring copies of those?
Let's see, I think unfortunately it's the same situation as before. These are the...
I don't think the board needs them, but do you have copies of these?
Copies?
Of the documents that he presented at the last hearing? Okay.
I believe that's what we received.
Oh, thanks. We have them now.
It's going to be 10 years ago.
So I did want to clarify that A is not checked off, which would be individual does not appear on the annual street listing. So I think there might have been a misunderstanding about that, because at the last hearing, a copy was submitted of the application to get on the street list that was submitted on November 2nd, but it appears that Ms. Boyle is on the street listing, so there's no need to apply to be on it.
I just didn't understand, I guess.
Okay, I just want to make that clear for the public. Okay, you may proceed.
Well, Rosemary Boyle, 43 Knowles Heights Road in North Truro. I've owned my home in Truro for over 40 years. I don't rent it out at all. I use it exclusively. I'm on the Truro street list. I have spent as much time in Truro over the past decades as my life would realistically allow, and now I spend the overwhelming majority of my time in Truro. Approximately 70% Truro, 20% Boston, and 10% traveling on a yearly basis. Truro is the center of my social life. Many of my closest friends are here. My family shares this home with me as our home. My children and grandchildren call Truro my home and visit often year-round. Truro is the heart and center of my family life. My son was married at Kalmar Village in North Truro, and my daughter was married at Cornhill. My daughter was a nurse practitioner at Outer Cape Health Services for 4 years. In 2019, I had my house fully insulated for winter use. I have had physical therapy at both Seashore Point Outpatient Clinic as well as Spalding Rehab in Orleans. And my dogs are cared for at Herring Cove Vet and Eastham Vet. I have formally made Truro the center of my civic life by registering to vote in this town. I have a local mailing address, Post Office Box 994, North Truro, which I have had for years. I have a landline phone and a year-round Comcast services. Bank accounts at Bank of America in Orleans and Siemens Bank in Truro. I'm a patron of the Truro Public Library. I have a Truro dump sticker. I have employed for at least 20 years Fraser Rubbish Removal to pick up my trash. I use Truro sticker almost exclusively for recycling and the swap shop, which my grandchildren really love to go to. There are 2 license plates registered ending in number 88 and number 17. I mean J7. I owned a gallery in Provincetown, the Oz Gallery, from 2002 to 2007. I currently display my work through the Truro Gallery, the Provincetown Art Association, PAM, and the Truro Center for the Arts at Castle Hill. I support nonprofits such as Payamet Performing Arts Center and the Mass Audubon Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary, as well as the Animal Rescue League in Brewster. I have notified my insurance company to update my vehicle's location to Truro. I intend to apply for the residential tax exemption in Truro and to notify the City of Boston of my intention, thereby not to get the benefit of both. This will be done with the advice and consult of both my financial advisor and my accountant. In my adult life, Truro has been my major center. I registered in Truro this year to eliminate any doubt that I consider it the epicenter of my civic and social life, though it has in fact been that way for decades. Having property in Boston says nothing about the truth for me here. Truro is my home, and I intend to keep it that way, as I attested when I registered to vote. Thank you.
Do you want to submit some exhibits?
Thank you.
Oh, I have exhibits to submit.
Great. You can bring them up. Thank you.
Explain what you've given them.
Yes, I've given you the copy. Well, the first stapled is from my attorney's office here, and that has it shows that I have made an effort to.
Excuse me, are we going in the same order as you? Because I don't have anything stapled.
Maybe I took yours.
It's okay. Oh, no, I guess we have it, it's just not stapled. Okay, it looks like we're in
No,
the,
actually, you do have it. She's got.
I just want to make sure we're all looking at the same thing.
The residential exemption
So I think
request.
I think this is what we received at the last hearing,
Oh, it is.
this that you just handed me. So we already have this.
Okay. Then the next group is, I put together. It's my statement, and then I've got a certificate of insulation.
Okay, now we're all on the same page.
Yeah, the date is 11/14/2019. And I've got a bunch of Eversource grids here that show the use year-round of the house.
I do.
Don't?
We do, but between the insulation and Eversource, we have a letter from FCA Corps.
Oh. That is a letter from my financial advisor. It's a letter from my financial advisor that basically attests to my my wanting to be a Truro resident for many years.
Okay, thank you.
Do you not have a copy of that?
Sorry. So the whole thing to make sure.
I gave her mine.
Oh, you know what I need to do?
Eversource, just Eversource.
I gave you my packet. I want you to have a copy of that. You have my real one,
Okay.
which I want to keep. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, wait.
So just this.
Yes, thanks. Just give us a moment.
Sure. Took me 2 days.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't think.
Okay, did you want to go through the documents?
I think I gave you the documents. What do you need to, the certificate of insulation?
I mean, if you want, we can just review them, but.
Just review.
Okay.
I don't have anything to say about them, really.
All right, so for the public, I'll just say that these include a 12-item list that's entitled Why I Believe That I Qualify as a Truro Voter. And it's, I think, actually everything
what I
you already
just read.
mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a certificate of insulation from 2019. And then a letter from her financial advisor. which discusses her residency. And his bio. And then Eversource bills. So it looks like this is for December 22, and there's a chart showing that there was electric use for every month, fluctuating but not dramatically. The same would be for December 21. And December 20, this has no use February through April. Well, I guess for April, there's like a tiny, tiny bit. And this looks like it's a repeat of the same bill. And a third copy.
I think I gave
Fourth
more than,
copy.
I think I got
So,
things mixed up. I'm sorry.
Are you missing?
Because I don't have the copies myself.
Okay, so it looks like I got all the copies of that one. So give me a second. Okay, we've got that sorted out. Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No.
Okay. So I will also point out the exhibits that we had at the last hearing. So we had Exhibit 2305, number 2, which was your voting history, showing that as far back as we have records, you were registered to vote in Weston until November 2012, and then in Boston until November 22. Did you need a copy of this?
Yeah, I'd love one. Sure.
The other exhibit is 2305, number 3, which is your history of scans at the transfer station.
The transfer station is, what are you saying? That I'm not using the transfer station?
So, hang on one second. Do you have a copy or not?
We do.
I think
Oh,
that's,
okay. Did you need the voter
things
history?
are,
The
things,
voter we do not have.
Okay. Let's just get the paperwork sorted first.
and the license plates are all scratched off. I don't know why.
So, I think you've cleared this up already?
Yeah.
So you said that you have a private hauler.
We have a private hauler, and we only use the dump for recycle, and often we'll keep it in the garage until we've got so much, and then we load it up in the car and take it off, so one day could be 2 months,
Right, and so since the last hearing, I did contact M.A. Frazier and confirmed that you use them year-round. Did you have anything else?
No? I'll answer your questions.
Okay. So I have a few exhibits here. The first is simply a copy of her email to appeal the decision, just for the record. So one for each of them.
I have texted, because I wrote it.
So the next is a copy of your property record card that does still list your 221 Columbus Avenue in Boston as your address.
That's not it, that's my house.
And those were exhibits 2305, 5, 6, and 7. And 23058 is an email from our assessor. And it says the last time you paid motor vehicle excise tax was in 2015 and no boat excise bills. And the last exhibit is 2305, number 9, which is the artist statement from your website, which says that I've been making art for 30 plus years, primarily in my Waltham, Mass studio with satellite studios in Truro, Mass and Santa Fe, New Mexico. Thank you. Mr. Richter, do you have further questions?
Just a couple. Ms. Boyle, what address do you use on your driver's license?
Objection.
I mean, I'd like to say something about that. I did this summer, I called the motor vehicle department and I asked them, you know, what do I do to change the address on my license? And she said, wait till it expires and just, if you want, you can just write the new address on the back. So I didn't do anything.
Okay, so I think you've indirectly answered.
Yeah, that's fine. The previous hearing, your representative, Mr. Boyle, submitted a similar document to the one that you submitted this evening, but there are a couple of changes that I noted. Was this document something, the one that was submitted at the previous hearing, something that you helped to draft?
I didn't see what it was. Now, that's the one I did, this is today.
I suppose we should probably.
I don't have
enter this. Yeah, so we should enter the one as an exhibit, so she has it available.
Okay, one moment.
What's the question?
We just want to make sure you have the same document that we have. Okay.
Because it is different than what was submitted today.
This looks like the same thing.
May I proceed?
Sure. Oh, sorry.
Madam Chair, through you.
Let me think about it. Yes, you may.
So, Ms. Boyle, item 15 is different in the two versions. In the previous version, it was stated that you had notified the City of Boston of your intention to terminate the exemption, and so that in order to make sure that you did not get the benefit of that in Boston. In the document you submitted tonight, the language says that you intend to apply for the residential exemption and to notify the City of Boston, and added an additional line that it would be done at the advice and consult of a financial advisor and accountant.
Yes.
Did you make that change?
I changed that.
Okay. And when you say it will be done at the advice of your advisors, are you saying that it may not occur?
I just want to make sure that I do everything correctly.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate you clarifying the change. What address do you use when you file your personal tax returns?
Objection.
So noted. Did you want to answer? Okay.
Are you a member of the Truro Part-Time Resident Taxpayer Association?
Objection.
So noted. Did you want to answer?
I don't think I am.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks.
All right, so I don't feel like the situation has changed in terms of what's been presented and what qualified you to vote in the last hearing to remove Ms. Boyle from the voter roll. There is a preponderance of evidence available to you that Ms. Boyle is not a resident of Truro. Out of respect for time, I won't repeat the things that you've already heard, but I believe that Ms. Boyle is not a properly registered voter and not domiciled properly in Truro. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll open up to questions from the board. Liz?
A question regarding your excise tax. So you don't pay any excise tax currently in Truro?
I'm not sure. I pay excise tax. I know I do, but I can't tell you exactly where it's from, if it comes from Truro or Boston.
Okay, thank you.
Julie?
You had said that you were speaking to your accountant and that had those changes been made, that you are withdrawing your residential tax exemption in Boston and we're going to request it through Truro.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to clarify something. When would you say you originally started to consider this your primary domicile?
Probably during the pandemic. I was down here for almost 2 years. I was down here for almost 2 years solid, and I just felt like this is home now,
Okay.
as I always wanted it to be, and it just naturally happened.
Thank you. Does the board have any more questions?
No.
Okay, I'll open it up for discussion. Liz, do you want to start?
My thoughts again go to the fact that you intend to do things but haven't quite done them yet, and the timing of the, everything being done at the beginning of November for the changes.
I didn't realize that I was expected to do all that. I mean, I just living my life. I didn't realize that, when I moved from Weston to Boston, I went and I registered to vote, and that was all I had to do. I mean, I guess the homesteading thing happens when you buy your property, but I mean, it's just my condo in Boston is 3 rooms. My home down here is at least 7. So, I mean, this is my home. That's my pied-à-terre, so to speak. I just haven't gotten around to doing all that paperwork and whatever has to be done. But I eventually will, because, my taxes will be changed now, and, all my financial paperwork will be changed. So yes, I only wrote intended because I intend it all to happen. It just hasn't yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And if I could state further, again, there's no requirement under the law that one change any paperwork before moving to a town and registering to vote.
Okay, so I was trying to keep that at just board discussion. Julie, did you have any comments?
Just based on, just alone, her Eversource bill appears that there's been minimal changes over the past almost 2 years since the start of the pandemic. It appears that there's steady usage throughout the year.
Yeah, I will say that we have some additional information that is more convincing than we had at the last hearing. The fact that you finished insulating your home, the fact that you do have year-round garbage pickup, and the electric bill, as Julie mentioned. And I do think it is a process to change everything when you move. This has probably been a great reminder to get on that. So, should I make a motion? I move, based upon the testimony provided today by Rosemary Boyle and the documents from the objector and the Board of Registrars entered into evidence, that the complainant has failed to demonstrate facts that Rosemary Boyle is improperly registered in Truro, and further, that this challenge be dismissed. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?